Hi guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Science with Mr. Jacobs. I'm Mr. Jacobs, this is Science, and as always, if you feel like you've learned something or you just like what you heard, feel free to give us a like and a subscribe down below. Today we're going to be talking about gas, and I'm not talking about the stuff that you put in your car or the stuff that comes out of your rear end. Gas is a state of matter. It's all around us. It's everywhere. It's the stuff. It's kind of like air. Air is a gas. The cool thing about gases are those particles, the things that make up the air. They're not bonded to any other particles. They're just kind of off doing their own thing. Meaning they kind of go wherever they want. They wander. They do things until they bounce into something, and then they ricochet off at the exact opposite and equal direction. Gases are cool. And today what we're going to be looking at is like what happens to gas. Can it be compressed? Well, compression is a decrease in volume caused by an outside force. In this case, that force is my hand pressing. Can gas be expanded? Can we make it take up more space than it already should? And those are kind of the questions that we're going to be looking at today. So the first thing that I have is a syringe and plunger with a tube that is not connected. And the first thing I'm going to see is what happens when I push on the syringe. Well, it creates a little bit of air, not enough to wave the paper like I was hoping, but it does create some air, so we can push and pull it. We can move it around. Definitely feeling some air that time. So what if we close this off? I still have the same amount of air in here that I did before I clamped it, just now that it's trapped, it's all stuck in here. So I'm going to try to push on that plunger again, and it does start getting harder to push around that 20 to 15 milliliter. I can realistically only get it to about 13 milliliters. So we definitely were able to compress the gas, but only up until a point. So we figure out what happens when we compress it, but what happens if we try to expand it? So I'm pushing that plunger all the way in. We do not have a lot of air in there. So let's find out what happens when we try to pull on it. Ooh! I can pull it all the way back. It's a little bit tough. Then as soon as I let go, it shoots right back down to where it was before I started pulling on it. Alright, so we've learned that we can compress the gas and we can also expand it, but it seems to want to go back to that normal state where the air has the same pressure inside as it does outside. So let's step it up a notch. And to step it up a notch, you're going to have to come back and watch the next video in my series on gas.